Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I am very excited for today's video because it is one that I haven't done before, and it means I get to go book shopping, which is one of my favorite hobbies besides reading. So today we are doing the ultimate book video. I think the first person that really ever did this, that I've seen at least, was Haley Pham. In these videos, she goes book shopping, does a book haul, and then she does a reading vlog of one of the new books that she got. And there's no better feeling than reading a new book that you just got, so that makes me even more excited. I'm an incredibly cheap person, so the first place we're going to be going to is Target, because if I can get a book that I want there, it's going to be a lot cheaper than it is at Barnes. And then we're going to go to Barnes and see what we can find. I am literally so excited, so let's go ahead and go book shopping.
So you know how I said I want to go to Target first? Well, I did. And their book section, like, I have no idea what happened. There were literally books like everywhere on carts and stuff like that. I think they were just reorganizing it, but they were for sure doing something with it. And even the books that were on the wall were not in the right spot and were not the right price. It was just super confusing. So then I decided to go to Walmart instead. And honestly, I've never been to Walmart to buy books, but I am just like not that impressed with their book selection. Kind of makes me a little sad, to be honest. But they did have a few things there, so I did look around. And then of course we finish off with Barnes, and I found a few things.
Okay, hello everybody. As you can tell, I'm wearing something a little bit different. It's actually a few days later after I went book shopping. I ended up also ordering some books online, so I wanted to wait until those came in to do like a full book haul. So we've got quite the haul today, and we have 9 books for this book haul today. I'm just gonna go based on the order that I stacked them in, which is very random. So the first one is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. As you guys know, if you've watched my fall reading vlog, I loved The Dead Romantics by her. I rated it a 4.75. The writing was super good. Her writing honestly reminds me a little bit of Emily Henry. It's like women's fiction with a subplot of romance, but she also adds in some magical realism, which I really didn't, I don't know why I didn't think I would enjoy it, because I literally like read fantasy, but I really enjoyed it in The Dead Romantics. And this is kind of the same thing. This is about a girl named Clementine, and she's living in this apartment, and then she like meets this guy in her apartment, and she's like, whoa dude, like, why are you in my apartment? But he actually lived in the apartment like 7 years ago. So I guess like sometimes when she walks in the apartment, it's like set 7 years in the past. It's very interesting. I am very intrigued and very excited to get back into a book by her. She is slowly becoming one of my favorite authors, and I have a feeling that I'm going to love this. Alright, our next book is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. I recently read the first one. I rated it a 3.5. It was just very hard for me to get into. One thing about these books is that they're set in a lot of different POVs. And when I say a lot, I mean like 7. At least the first one was. So it was just kind of like a lot to get into. Every single chapter you're switching POVs. You're learning about different characters all at once. But when I got to the end of Six of Crows, I was on the edge of my seat. It left me on a good cliffhanger, and I really got excited to read the second one. Lo and behold, that's why she's standing here today with me. Six of Crows was basically about a group of criminals. I guess they're not all criminals, but they just like they know how to thief. They know how to, like, they're very street smart people. Those 6 people are hired by the government to go capture a guy that's in like enemy territory, because if they don't, then just like in general, a lot of people are gonna die or be harmed. And they're basically just doing that for the government, because if the government gets like officially involved with like their army and their troops and stuff like that, then it's gonna cause like a big riff, you know what I'm saying, politics stuff, right? Again, the end of that one just made me super intrigued to read this one, and I am very excited to get back into this world, which I didn't think I would say when I started reading Six of Crows, especially like the first 200 pages, because they were so slow for me and I felt so incredibly dumb. But I'm glad that the tables have turned, and I'm actually very excited to read it. This next book I'm just not really sure about, because I haven't heard the greatest things, and it makes me a little bit nervous to read it. I still haven't read the second one either, but it's Things We Left Behind, which is the 3rd book in the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. This book specifically follows Lucian and Sloane, and it's a part of like a little interconnected standalone series. These books are pretty popular, so I'm sure you've heard about them, but if you haven't, they're all basically set in this small town of Knock 'Em Out, and it's just about people's like lives. And normally there's just interesting things that happen along with the subplot of romance. I really enjoyed the first one. It was cute. I really liked Lucia Score's writing. It's very easy to read, very bingeable, even though they are pretty long for a romance book. But I'm just very nervous because I haven't heard the best things about the second and third one, but I'm going to eventually read them and power through just so that I can know what happens, because I have to know. Like, that's my issue with reading series, is that I must know how everything ends. Speaking of series, it's crazy that I said that. The next book we have is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I am finishing the acftl series very, very soon, and I am just very excited to get into this series. I know almost nothing about it. All I know is that the main character's name is Selena, and everyone has told me to read this, including my friends in my book club, because they've all read it, and we're actually thinking about reading the entire series together, so they'd be rereading it, but I'd be reading it for the very first time. And I'm just so excited to get into this world and to eventually get into Crescent City, because I really want to finish all the books before Crescent City 3 comes out on January. I think it comes out like January 30th. I know it's like the very end of January. So I'm just really hoping that I can finish these. I feel like they're... Okay, what are these lights doing? So I'm just really hoping that I can finish these. I feel like the first like 4 are pretty short, so that will definitely help. I know the last one's like almost 1,000 pages though, if not 1,000 pages, so. Why does it keep doing that? Do you guys see that? Okay. My lights are kind of freaking me out. It's giving spooky season. Love that for me. The next book we have is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, and I know that what matters most is what's, you know, like inside the book, the story. I know the story is the same with the new covers, but I just really wanted the original covers because they were just so beautiful. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will insert them somewhere up here. They were just absolutely gorgeous. Not that these aren't. These are pretty in their own way, and I'm not gonna like compare them and stuff, but I just really, if anything, I just wanted both. And there are just so many things that happen that are weird with covers. Like if they stop selling the original covers but the series is still continuing, then you just have books that don't match, and I just simply can't do that. So that's what I was really nervous about with this series, but you know what? I just went for it. I want to know what this is all about. All I really know about this book is that it is kind of like a toxic relationship with a lot of miscommunication, which honestly isn't always my favorite, but a lot of people say that it reminds them of Gossip Girl, and it's set in the UK, and I'm gonna give it a shot because a lot of people love it, and miscommunication is not a very popular trope to like, so I have a feeling that maybe if a lot of other people like it, I will like it too. So we'll see. I'm definitely intrigued to give this one a go. The next book is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, and as you can see, I am tabbing this book. I'm currently reading it with my book club. We're currently about 200 pages in of a 500-page book, and this is a mystery. I have been loving this book a lot more than I thought I would. It doesn't really give like new mystery vibes. It gives off Clue, because I think it's set in like the 90s, like the early 90s. I can't remember. The plot of this book is so ingenious. There's basically this guy who is put into the brain of like 8 different people, and each day he has a new host, and basically he's trying to figure out who murdered Evelyn Hardcastle and how, and all the details of the murder and stuff like that. So he has 8 full days and 8 different people's bodies to figure out the murder. That's all I'm really gonna say because I don't want to give into too many details. I have literally tabbed this book so much, underlined this book so much, because in a mystery you never know what's going to be foreshadowing, what's going to give things away, what little minute details could be an alibi for some people, or it could be false information. Mysteries are slowly becoming one of my favorite genres, and as somebody who started out as romance and then now reads a lot of fantasy, I never really saw that coming, but I am welcoming the mysteries. And if you guys have any other mysteries that you want me to read, let me know, because I am very excited to continue reading them. Another series that I want to finish is the Natural series. I have that behind me back there. I just really love the first one, and it kind of like, it gives a different vibe than this one, but I just really love them both, and I'm excited to read more mysteries. The next book I got is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and I'll be honest, don't really know what this one's about. All it says is Espeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. And I know it's a fantasy, and I know that it's a little bit like, I think it's a little bit eerier and spookier than your normal fantasy. My dilemma is, you guys all know I get scared very easily, but I really hope it's good. A lot of people have been saying that this is their favorite book of the year, like behind Fourth Wing, like this is first and Fourth Wing is second, and that says a lot considering Fourth Wing is like a 5-star read for me. So I don't really know what I'm getting into here. I hope it's good. That's all I really can say about it, I guess, because I Again, know nothing. The next book we have is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I actually am currently reading this and I am very much enjoying it. This book is about a girl named Peyton and she's an ordinary living in this world of elites. An elite is someone who basically has a power and an ordinary is someone who is powerless. Get it? It's called Powerless. Yes. You're so smart, Katie. Look at me go. So basically if you're an ordinary, like, you're out of here. Like, you're getting killed or you're getting banished from like your home, the world that you've always lived in. And there's also like trials in this book that Peyton ends up going through. It's also dual POV. The other character that we get to learn about is Kai. He's an elite and he's actually a prince and the future enforcer, which is kind of like the head of the king's like almost secret service in their fantasy world. He's like the head fighter guy. That's the best way I can explain it. But his main job, whenever he's not like in battles, is he's sent to go kill ordinaries. And him and Peyton end up meeting and they're both in the trials, and that's all I'm gonna say. If you guys want to know my full in-depth thoughts on this book, I actually read it in This Book Ends in a 5-Star video, and that's all I'm gonna say. Just watch that. The last book that we have for this haul is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is another fantasy book, but this is more of like a fantasy fairy tale, I'm guessing. I obviously haven't read it yet, but I have read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and that's a 5-star series for me. It is so incredibly good, and the Caraval trilogy is set in the same world as that, and you're technically supposed to read the Caraval trilogy before you read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I didn't, and it was fine for me, so don't think that you have to. But now I really want to read the Caraval trilogy just because of how much I love the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy and how much I love Stephanie Garber's writing, and I'm just so excited to get into this trilogy. And speaking of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, I was thinking about what book I wanted to read for the reading vlog portion of this video, and the third and final book of the trilogy, A Curse for True Love, actually comes out tomorrow, and I have had the plan to go to Barnes & Noble when it opens and go buy the book because I wanted like the exclusive special edition. But I'm gonna go there really early in the morning, go buy the book, and just sit in the cafe like all day and just completely binge it. Hopefully I'll get done with it tomorrow. I don't really know if I'll be able to finish it in that short of time. I also have work at 6 p.m. so that might also put a damper on things, but I am gonna try, and if it takes me 2 days to read it, I don't really care that much. I've been waiting for this book. I actually haven't been waiting as long as other people, so I am thankful for that. But these characters are like my favorite ever, but I'm just so incredibly excited. I will see you guys tomorrow for whenever we go buy the book and start reading it. Okay, it's actually been a few hours since I first got into Barnes & Noble. I've just been sitting in the cafe and reading for a while, and I ended up getting to page 121 and chapter 15. It's almost 1 p.m. I do have work tonight at 6, and I was thinking about just like staying there because like they have food and stuff like that, but I think I'm just gonna go to a Starbucks because it's really close to like where I work, so I don't have to worry about like leaving earlier and stuff like that to get to work on time. You get it, you get it. The biggest, most obvious things ever. Can we just talk about how gorgeous this book is? Let's start out with the dust jacket. This color, everything. And then the actual look of the hardcover, guys. Also, it's saying the Ballad of the Orch and the Fox. If you know, you know, if you've read this series, and it literally has me screaming. It just has such a good look, and I am obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with that. This says something about 400 pages. I briefly checked while I like squinted. I was like, because I didn't want to like spoil it for me or anything like that. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I actually checked how many pages Fourth Wing had so many times that I spoiled it for myself, and that was awful. I mean, I was excited to get to the end, obviously, because like I knew what I was getting into and stuff, but to get that spoiled for me absolutely broke my heart. Like I couldn't even like think about what was gonna happen or think about the ending or think about a plot twist because I just like, I knew. So now I vow never to do that but one time before I start like really getting into the book, because sometimes like I'll read something and I'll be like, I'm not gonna remember that, but I just have to know how many pages are in a book, and normally like the Goodreads thing and checking online isn't always right because there's like different versions and stuff like that. Anyways, 400 pages in this bad boy, and I updated on Goodreads. It said I was about like 25-ish% through, I think. I am very excited to keep reading. It is holding my interest so greatly, and I'm already like zipping through it. I cannot believe I'm already 120 pages in. And so far from what I've read, there are 3 point of views, which is different from the other 2 books because originally we just kind of got Evangeline's, even though it is in 3rd person. But it is it's very interesting to get the 2 other characters' perspectives. The first one I read was a 4.75, the second one was a 5-star. This one's gonna be a 5-star. I just know. It's giving me the feelings whenever I first saw 2 characters interact that I was really excited to see interact. If you've read the book, you know, but if you haven't, I don't want to give it away, so I'm trying my best not to spoil anything, especially because it's the 3rd book in a series and it's kind of hard not to give anything away if I tell you about what's going on in this book, because it might spoil something in the 1st and 2nd books. But anyways, seeing 2 characters interact that I was really excited to see interact for the first time in this book was just so good, and I love Jax, period, point blank period. He's a king, and I am so excited to see what happens in the rest of this book. Okay, it is currently 10:21. I did read a little bit today, as you guys saw, but I told myself that I wasn't going to finish this book until I had everything done that I needed to do today. Now it's almost kind of like a reward, you know? Like, I have to finish all my stuff to get to read my book. It's really motivating, to be honest, especially because I really want to finish this book. But we're gonna finish it tonight. I think I have around 50 pages left. I'm pretty sure there's 400-ish pages, and I'm on page 342. One thing I did want to say before we get back into it is I kind of forgot how much I loved Stephanie Garber's writing. You literally never know what's going to happen. I can never predict anything in her books, and I just absolutely love it. Like, it's almost like a fairy tale mystery because you just have no idea what's going on. Not that, like, you don't know what's going on. It's just that, like, you don't know what's gonna happen next. I feel like that's a better way to explain it. Right now, we're at, like, a cute little crossroads where, again, you have no idea how the book is gonna end. And the whole thing with these books is they talk a lot about ballads, and there's, like, a story curse. So basically, it's a fairy tale, but you don't always get your fairy tale ending, or a bunch of people know different endings of the same story. So I'm really interested to see if she's gonna, like, do a play on that with this book, considering this is the last book since it's the 3rd book of the trilogy. I'm expecting pain, so let's see how this goes. Okay, hey guys, it has actually been about a week-ish since I finished A Curse for True Love. I actually don't have it with me either, and my background looks a little different. So all these things will make sense whenever you see some vlogs that are coming next week. I do want to finish my final thoughts for A Curse for True Love for this video though, and my thing is that I really was taking my time on it. I kept going back and forth and back and forth. I was like, is this a 5-star? But then it's also like, if it's a 5-star, like, I would know, like, full body yes, 5-star, you know what I'm saying? But I genuinely think the problem was that I started to see other people's reviews rolling out, and it's really hard to, like, have your own opinion on things whenever you're hearing what everybody else thinks too at the same time. So that's why I was trying to finish the book as quickly as possible, and whenever I finished it, I was like, 5-star read. I literally loved it so much. You guys literally saw me finish the book and how I was literally, like, kicking my feet, giggling, like, gasping. I was just having a great time, and sometimes with a 5-star book, that's all you need. A lot of people are saying the reason why they didn't give it 5 stars is because their favorite characters, it took a while for them to, like, interact, and it was kind of slow at the beginning and stuff like that. But it made sense why it was slow. Like, if you read the book, you know what I'm saying. It makes sense why it's slow. It makes sense with the story. The ending for the villain of this book, I guess you could say, was literally so good. I caught my reaction on camera, and I hate that man so much, and so I'm so happy that he got an ending that he deserved. Miss Stephanie Garber, I approve. Me acting like she's watching this video. She's not, Katie. You're a little delusional, but that's okay. So this was a 5-star for me. I love these characters. I feel so connected. It's a 5-star series anyways. And all these books just mean so much to me. These are some of my favorite books of all time. And again, I just love how you never know with Stephanie Garber what's coming next. It's almost like a mystery, like I've been saying. And I absolutely love that. I love that literally so much. And it also gave me the 5-star feels, you know, like that's the biggest thing. I feel like I don't need to prove that it's a 5-star because it just kind of like is for me, and I know that books are all opinion based, but I love this book, highly recommend the series, and it is the ending that these characters deserved, and I'm just so happy for them and their little world. Obviously sad that like the books are over, but I know that she's coming out with more books, and honestly, I'm setting my predictions now. I think she is going to come out with a book about Castor and Lala, possibly. We got like a little Easter egg there at the end, so I don't know. Thought that'd be interesting. Anyways, that is just my like smidgen review. If you guys want to see a better full out review where I'm not like rushing to film the end of a video so I can get it up for tomorrow, then check out my wrap up. It'll actually be up tomorrow because I made a plan to do like a 3-day upload thing because I kind of like missed some uploads this month because some videos were taking me longer, and there's like some other reasons too, which you guys will find out very soon. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any thoughts on this book, any other books that I've read, any other books you want me to read, let me know. And I think that is it. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Oh, you're heavy. Little wobbly.